supporting the roof underneath, because the roof has got a shape to it, so it flows down to the middle and then back over and down again at the edge. So in other words, it's got a dip going like that, yeah, on both sides. It is slightly dipped going outwards, but the outsides are slightly higher. They've been built up with more fibreglass, and the reason for that is to give it a slight shape, and it acts as a gully. So when it rains, the rain comes off everywhere, runs down that gully, so less rain off the side, more to the front and to the back. The newer models, the 22s, they had a definite gully down the side and a definite shape to the roof to channel the water, so it only came off in certain places. Bearing in mind this is one of their first models, being the Interceptor. So what I'm doing now is I'm propping underneath the sides with some different heights of plywood, and the reason I'm doing that is because when you put a board on there, whether or not you're going to cut it, say in 4 sections possibly, or if you're going to lay it as one sheet, I mean it's only 6mm, so it will bend to the shape. It's only slight over quite a far period, quite a far distance. But what we want to do is get the plywood to be able to stick on to the fibreglass that we lay down. Now if it's got a big curve in it and you're not supporting it in any way, it will rock and it won't stick. Now this piece of wood that I'm putting on here, you can see if I lay it round to the shape, see it's flexible there, laid to the shape, and you can see that that is laying quite sound. Over this side where I haven't supported it, you can see there's more of a gap underneath, and therefore it's going to be harder for it to stick onto the plywood. Obviously in the centre area here, it's got a gully there, and it's got a definite shape, a mould shape on the roof. I'm still in 2 minds at this moment whether to fill through with a line of fibreglass or adopt with a thin ply, probably 3/6, coming through there just to build it up slightly, and then fibreglass over that so that it brings it up level with the rest of it. So when I lay my sheets on, be it one complete sheet to take the majority of the area, or whether I cut that into 2 or cut it into 4, so that it definitely takes that shape, that's to be seen. What I'll do is I'll decide on this first, do that, put the wood on as one piece, and then if that doesn't work, then I'll cut it down, possibly half. If that doesn't work, I'll cut it down into quarters, because I want to keep that shape. I don't want the roof to twist out once all the fibreglass is set. Okay, so I've cut the board in half, decided it was better, not because of the curvature and how it would sit on there, but because as I'm doing this myself, and it's quite a large area to fibreglass, I would need to put this board down on its place all by my lonesome, and I wouldn't be able to manage that, especially as there'll be all that fibreglass to mix up as well, and it just make it too cumbersome. So what I've done is cut it in half. Sits on there quite nice as it is. Centrepiece, I've cut a piece of wood to go down the centre to give this a seat. This will all be filled in along that channel and then over the top of that, and then the whole lot gets fibreglassed in. And what I have done is cut out some holes, 4 holes on each side, 4 holes here. This is for the centre mast, the wooden mast that used to be on the boat. Still got that. Needs to tidy up, just needs to sand down and varnish. I was actually toying to get rid of that and perhaps buy a more modern one, but when I was looking on the internet, those classic ones made out of the wood are actually on average £350. So I'm not going to get rid of that. I shall then restore it, put it back on. So there's the holes for it. The outside ones will be for these rails. It didn't originally have the rails, it had the rails over the front roof, and then this one had two smaller side rails. But I'm going to put these on both the top of this, obviously this is underside, the top of this, and then I'll possibly put the side ones on as well. But yeah, they sit in there like so, but on the outside. So what I've done with these holes, why I've done this, is when you screw things into the boards, as you know, once you put a screw into the core, as I've mentioned before in another video, if people are moving about on the roof, or for some reason the sealant gives up around the screws, that's going to leak water in. The water will eventually disperse through the wood, rotting it out. So when they made this and other boats roofs in the factories, they don't know what hardware you're going to put on, and they don't know where you're going to put it. So they would just put the core on, fibreglass it all up, and leave you to drill your holes wherever you want, straight through the core. So doing this, some safeguarding drilling through the core. There's no screws going to go through the core. These holes will be filled up with fibreglass, and then all the screws will be going into the fibreglass and sealed steels. So no water getting in there. It'll last a millennium. The only thing I haven't decided yet is where the horn's going to go and the VHF aerial. I could put the VHF aerial on the side of the roof. A lot of boats have them on the side, or straight on the top. Originally it was on the top somewhere, over this side, because the wires go down the corner of the screen at the front, on this side. Then there's the horn. This is the original horn off the boat. I've given it a quick test, and no joy with it, but I haven't had an extensive look at it. Probably does work, I don't know. But if I get another one, the footprint will be a similar design to this, because this front piece moves along, I see. So you can adjust the length of that. The twin ones are much the same as this, they just have a V bracket coming up in there holding the two front bits. Again, that will move along. So it doesn't really matter, as long as I measure out a distance, give it a large hole like these corners, then I can fix the horn up to the top. The same with the VHF. I haven't got a mount here at the moment, but we've got several mounts around. So I'll probably do that tomorrow, because it's getting pretty late today, and it is bank holiday anyway. So next stage is now complete. So what I've done is I've cut out the two areas there, one for the VHF aerial fixing and the other one for the horn. Oversized obviously, don't exactly know where the brackets are going to go within that area, but in that area they will go. I've treated the whole of the wood, back and front, and I've treated it with what I've been using all the time, which is that Smith's clear penetrating epoxy sealer. That actually gets into rotten wood and makes it good again, so that you can sand and fill. But I've not been using it for that, I've been using it for a sealer on good wood. And the reason I've sealed this bit, even though it's going to go in between the fiberglass top and bottom, is so that the fiberglass resin doesn't actually soak into the wood, because that's what it would do, especially if you're using polyester rather than epoxy. It soaks in, and then what you'll find is it'll just pop up again, because you've got so much resin inside the wood and very little outside to hold it together, to bond it together. The other thing I've done, as you'll notice over the area, a lot of drill holes. Now someone said to me, oh yeah, you need to drill holes in it to give it a nice bond, let the resin come through there. Well, I've never actually seen that. I've watched a lot of videos on YouTube and other media, and I've never seen anyone do that. They've roughed it up obviously, as I did, but they haven't bothered putting the holes in. But if you remember our first piece of hardboard that was on there that we took off, that was fully holed, and then their resin or glue, whatever they used, did come through there and hold it on, so it can't be a bad thing. There we go. So what I've done as well, because these holes, this is where the light goes onto its mast, those holes are already there on the top of the roof, so I'll see exactly where that goes. These ones are new mountings, so the holes aren't there. So what I've done is I've drawn out a diagram, marked out where all the holes are, and as long as I can put the brackets in the centre of those marks, I'm going to go straight into the fiberglass and not into the wood. And what I did there as well is, obviously I'm going to lose a piece of paper by the time I come to doing the hardware, so I photographed that, so I've got a record of where it is. Right, next stage is going to be fiberglassing. So I'll do this centerpiece first. I'll take the whole lot up and put that centerpiece in so that I can build it up. As you see, I can just get my finger under there because it is curved like that, right on that center piece there. That's why I've put that wood in, to give it the build up, because that's the height I want it. As you can see, it doesn't push down. So I'll do that centerpiece first, probably let that go off, make sure it's all stiff before getting on to the next bit. And I hate fiberglassing, so it's going to take me a while. As I say, I'm working on my own, and these, even though I've cut it in half, these are still large pieces to work with. So we'll see how we go. I'm going to let this resin go off tonight, because it wants about 24 hours. It's still a bit tacky now. If I touch it, it's still a bit tacky. Let that go off so that it's fully cured, and then, as I say, it won't let the polyester soak into it. And then that's what I'll be doing tomorrow. That's the centerpiece done. It seems to have gone down okay. Did I do it correctly? Who knows? I'll give it my best shot on what I've seen and how they've done it. As I said, it seems to be fine. Will it stick? Will it be okay? Only time will tell. I'm going to leave that now, probably for an hour or so, just to go off, see how we get on. I did have 3 tins along there, as you probably noticed, to hold the thing in shape, but it has stuck and held in shape. It's only this end here that was up slightly, but that's probably because that piece is a longer piece. I'll probably find that my tin will stick to that now. It should be okay to take off in a couple of minutes. So if that's okay, then I shall carry on doing the rest. One thing I did find out with this, I think the mix, although I'm mixing it up to the measurements they're saying, I think the mix seems a bit thick to me. It could be because the resin is getting a bit old now, so it could be that reason. But I've got plenty of other resins anyway, so we'll see how we get on. But that's the crucial thing, see how that goes. It's not that warm today, it's only about 16 degrees. It was raining all day yesterday, so it's not that warm, so it might take a little bit longer to go off, but we will see. That's the base sheets cut out. I'm only going to put one sheet down underneath the ply. It's 450 grams, and apparently if you're doing a roof covering, they go by, if you want it for heavy duty walking, put 3 of these sheets down, medium put 2, and if it's light just put 1. And we don't expect people to actually walk on this ceiling anyway, so a little aggressive with the amount I poured, but I'm going to waste. That's enough for tonight. Obviously put all the weights on there because it has got that shape to it. The ply is only 6mm, so it does go into that shape, just needs weighting down. And now I'll just leave that, and it'll probably be left a few days now, because obviously Monday tomorrow, well obviously to you, but to me it's Monday tomorrow, so back to work. So I'll either be doing this in the evenings or have to wait till next weekend. Hopefully that's all going to stick. I think it's all touching in the areas. There's no flexing up off the fibreglass, and we'll see how that goes. Right, well that's all the fibreglass done on the roof. I did say in one of the videos I was going to use 9 or 12 ply to strengthen the roof up. But after having a look at it, I realised the folly of my ways, and 9 or 12 ply would have made it massively heavy. So I've used 6mm, which is a lot stronger than what the original hardboard was, and given it a few layers of fibreglass as well, fibreglassed it all in. You can see the points here where I've left for putting the fixtures on the top. So now I've got to put the side bits on. I'll start with the wood along the back. If you remember, that had the lifter dot eyes on it. I'll put that in first, and then we'll work our way around these sides. Now this is going to be quite quick to do, because I have got the original panels that were on the boat, as you can see. These are in quite good condition, to be honest with you. They're a bit flexy. They should be okay for the sides, but they will not fit exactly as I would like them. There's quite a few errors in them actually when they were first made, so they don't look that neat. So I'm going to do my own. This one would have gone along here somewhere, like so. So I'll use these as a rough template, and then finish them down to how I want them and how I need them before vinylising. I've marked up across the whole roof where I'm going to put the battens. The battens just need to be a hard, an external ply. Don't need to be marine ply. There's no dampness coming down into here, and they will be cushioned within the ceiling and the roof. So several ways you can put these on: either screw them, glue them, or tab them down with a bit of fibreglass, which is what I'll probably do anyway. So I'll do the back bit first, put these down, and then work around the sides. Okay, so now I've cut and treated all the pieces that I need ready for assemble. So we've got the battens down there, there's some risers over that side. Remember, the roof is actually curved, but I want this ceiling to be flat. I don't want a curvy ceiling above you. And then there's the side pieces. It's all been treated with Smith's epoxy sealer. So if you remember, this is the old side for over there, and this is the new cut that I've got, which does actually fit better than this one. A lot better, I would say. So I'm going to leave this now for 24 hours to go off, and then when I restart, which will probably be tomorrow afternoon to tomorrow evening because I'm working, then I'll get done on the fibreglassing. Right, where are we up to? Well, we're on the last stage of fixing up this roof. I've put the battens in now, and I've used some Evo grip on there and some grip fill. The grip fill is actually the best one. All nicely secured into place, they're not going to move anywhere. So the last thing to do on the main building of it, this is the original ceiling. As you can see, it's got vinyl on it. That would have been in place like that, the other one that side. So all I was left with was to temp out these pieces of ceiling into my new ones. Which we have here. And they just slot into place. If you get them the right way round. Like so. So all we're left with now, I've just put the part of the window on there for the moment. All we're left with now, vinylising the whole lot, nice bit of vinyl over there, and then decide what type of lighting we're going to have. Now the original one, if you noticed, didn't have any lighting in it at all, so I don't actually know what they used for lighting out on the cockpit area. So my thoughts are either a strip light down the centre, one on each side, or 2 to 4 lights on the ceiling, you know, the round ones. Would be nice if it can switch from light to, the white light to red. So LEDs probably. But that's it for the roof. The rest is just finishing, which will be in a few weeks.